Good morning. My name is Mary Minyard. I am here with two of my colleagues to record video number 3, video observation number 3. My L number is 206-45197. We're nearing the end of my coursework and I'm so excited. Okay, a little bit about me. This is my 14th year teaching. All of my experience comes from 6th grade, 5 years of 6th grade math, 5 years of 6th grade social studies, and now my 4th year of 6th grade science. Had to think about that there for a second. So that's me. I'm going to introduce my two colleagues that are here with us today. Go ahead, Ms. Cloud.
I'm Amy Cloud. I teach 6th grade RLA. This is my 11th year teaching. I've taught RLA for all of it, 2nd grade all the way up through 8th grade.
Kristen Curry, RLA as well, 6th grade. I have taught both 6th and 7th grade as well as 3rd grade in the past, and this is my 8th year teaching.
Awesome. Thank you, ladies. I'm so glad y'all are here with me today. Okay, so some meeting norms that I want to bring up. Let's just focus on the topic at hand. Maintain that positive intent. Be intentional with our listening and attentive, kind of a synonym there. And let's just have great conversation today. So I'm looking forward to it. The purpose of our meeting today, the purpose of this practicum observation activity is to provide candidates with an opportunity to collaborate with faculty and staff to design instructional strategies that address identified gaps in student achievement. The purpose of this meeting is to review the progress, successes, and the challenges that we discussed in our second observation video. Last meeting, we discussed economically disadvantaged and at-risk student population at Alcove Trails and the struggles that those kids face, whether it's in the school setting or at home. With the two ladies that I worked with in the last meeting, especially Ms. Cloud, she brought up a template that she uses in her RLA class called Traces to help students organize their writing and their thoughts on a given topic. So I incorporated that into my class the last couple of weeks, but then I also, which it's handwritten, we also did some digital writing on Schoology, which is our platform we use at Alcove Trails. So I have some digital responses there from my students. And then these ladies have also provided some writing samples from each of their own classes. So we're coming today with a lot of data that we can bring up. So it's going to be awesome. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started talking about some of these questions. Let's keep it general right now. How have things been going in each of your classes the past few weeks? What are some observations, some positives that have gone on in each of your classes?
I feel like relationships are really good. I feel like I really don't have a student that I'm not can just talk that I can talk to. Like they're all very relational with me, and there's not any that just like stand out as like, oh my goodness, I can't.
Like try to avoid it or
Yeah, and I think this year for some reason has been a smoother year than the previous two.
why?
Yeah, and I don't know if it's anything I'm doing different. I don't know if it's just a different dynamic. It's a different group of kids. And also, you know, the 3 years ago is when the school opened. And so I think there's been a lot of changes culture-wise with staff, with everything. So I think maybe just some of that, but also relationships. And this group of kids is a lot easier to get to know. Yeah. They are, it's easier to connect with them.
I feel like they're calmer. I know that sounds weird.
Yeah.
It's because they're not exactly calm, but they're calmer than the past groups that we've had come through overall.
I'm wondering why that is. Like what's different with this group in comparison to the past couple of years?
We speculated that it's because they were the kindergarten COVID babies who maybe didn't suffer, maybe weren't as impacted as some of the older kids. I don't know if that has anything to do with it,
In the
but
development
maybe.
stages. Yeah. I feel the same. There's been a couple of rough days lately with student behaviors, but
There is.
it's also one of those things that I'm learning this year, which in my years of experience in Frisco, this was not a big deal. Making relationships with kids was easy in Frisco.
Right.
And I know it's a different group of kids. This group has been a little more challenging to connect with me personally, but I feel like I've learned a lot so far. It can be draining at times,
Yes.
but it's also very rewarding because I'm seeing kids come from completely different backgrounds than what I'm
Right.
used to.
Right.
So I feel like this move for me personally was a big deal just because I'm growing as a teacher and growing in terms of becoming a future administrator. So I need that experience, not just of one type of kid. I need to know
Right.
how to connect
And as
with
a
all.
teacher.
And as a teacher.
And to grow, it can't be easy. If it's easy, we're not stretching, we're not changing. So definitely it's a
Agree. So students, where are they mentally after the first 2 to 6 weeks? What do we feel about that?
I have some that I feel like are getting the hang of it. They're in the swing of things. They're able to keep up with the pace and the extra course load that comes with middle school versus elementary. Then I have some who I don't know. They're struggling.
Yeah. I feel like this group as a whole is more needy as
Yes.
far as,
Learned helplessness.
yes, very much so. So there's a lot more like this, you've got to do this right now, like walking through each little step with us.
Stuff.
Whereas some of them are getting it, like I said, I feel like they're catching on, oh, this is how we do things
Right.
all the time, you know?
Yeah.
They're getting it, but there's a lot of them still that it's just.
And from y'all's vantage point, it's very different from mine because I see these kids once a day and y'all, due to being double blocked, you see them twice a day.
And 3, depending on which
Sometimes.
class. We see at least.
When you guys approach instruction in that second block, how does this first block when you have the students compare to the second block? Like, tell me what that's like as far as your instruction goes.
Good. You want me to?
Yeah.
It can be it can be different. I think the biggest difference is when you've got a morning class and an afternoon class. So for me, it'd be like my 4th and 7th period because at the end of the day, everyone's crazy. And in years past, I've had a 1st period and 7th period block, and it was night and day. I mean, we're zombies, tired in the morning, and then
Yeah, for sure.
off the chain 7th period.
For sure.
So sometimes it just depends on when it is that it falls that they come to us. But I don't see a huge difference this year.
Um,
Do you?
I do with my 7th period, which
Yeah.
is my honors class, which is interesting.
Mine too.
They're a little more wild
Yes.
than my on level, but I tried to do my major teaching in the first block. And then applying it in the second. Not all the time. I mean, it doesn't always work out like that, you know. But when I'm trying to plan, that's kind of how I try to do it. Or like our reading of a novel or something, I try to do it in first because it's more intense.
Yes. Like whatever's gonna take the heaviest lifting as far
Yeah.
as thinking goes, I agree. I do
First
tend to
block.
put it first, just so we kind of were ready, we crank it out and
Yeah.
not that we relax the next block, but
No, it's a little bit.
what you need to have got through is done and now we can apply or do the activity that went with it. Or
I feel like motivation, is 6 weeks, it's like something that I'm gonna have to really try to get the kids to buy into, because I feel like from the first 6 weeks, they're on it, second 6 weeks,
Or they're
toward
trying.
the end. It's like the effort is not there, and I need to figure out ways to just consistently make them wanna be successful.
You could jump on with what Hanson and I are doing. I don't know if you've done this yet, but can I grab it? We made these music coupons.
Oh, I have, yeah.
And they don't say reading, so you can. But anyway, we started the new 6 weeks this week. So if they had everything turned in, no zeros, everything turned in, they got one of these. And it's a music pass that whenever they're doing individual work or whatever, they can put this out on their desk and they're allowed to listen to music while they're doing work. But if they don't get something turned in by the time it's supposed to be turned in, like on Friday, this gets taken back away and they don't get it until they get everything turned back in again. And this is actually like, I've had a few students, do I get my music pass now? Do I get my music pass now?
Because they realize. my work turned
Yeah,
in.
and
Carrot you're dangling.
because we don't have a solid, like your work has to be in each week, this I'm using instead, because if it's not in when I say it needs to be in, this gets taken away.
So you have one of these already pre-written for every child?
Yeah,
Do-
it's a blank one and I just wrote the name.
Do they get
Okay.
upset when you don't? Because there are certain, like we've talked, I know you to, if we're reading, if the task involves reading and answering questions, they can't listen to music because it.
Right, and that's.
And they understand that,
They
but they
do.
don't seem to
This
get
is
upset. It's
just
like, well, I have a
during-
task, I can't. Well, it's usually no ink or quill, it's a grammar skill or something like that.
Right.
I'm fine with, so they're okay with
They
it.
do know, yeah. And
like that.
so far it's been pretty good this week. I've gotten a lot of stuff turned in just because of this.
Yeah.
But I think to some degree, yes, scaffold, by reminding them to write assignments down in their homework folder or things like that. But I'm gonna let the grade be the consequence. If you don't turn it in, then that's what it is. I don't have the time to manage
Yeah.
every
At this
student's
point of the
zero.
year-
When you think about, you need 10 grades times 90 students, that's 1,000 different zeros you have to worry about whether they're turned in or not. And I don't have the mental capacity to do that. I've given them the tool. I can't make you use it. If you're not going to, then you're just gonna get the grade you get.
Well, I know we both think that's part of sixth grade is
Yeah.
learning.
I'm
And
not.
we're not
scaffolding.
elementary. We've been in here 6 weeks, so we're not new.
Yeah.
So now it's like,
Right.
that expectation is there.
And I've stopped handholding. I've stopped saying,
Absolutely.
what you do is, I'm like, I've already given directions. Well, what do I,
Figure it
that's a
out.
you problem.
Yeah, awesome. In each of your classes, how much writing have y'all incorporated in the last few weeks? Like what have kids been working on writing wise?
We did a
ECRs.
district assessment and
Yeah.
so working on their ECRs for that. And then now we're going back and looking at them and
Yeah.
seeing what did we do good, what did we not, how did they score?
Yeah.
How, with writing, how do you reteach? Because that seems like not an overwhelming, but a task where it's like, how do you individualize a reteach method for each kid regarding writing? What does that look like?
For each kid,
Difficult,
that's not possible.
That's
I mean, I think what I do at least is I kind of look for trends to see as a
Right.
whole, what are we noticing?
Right.
And then, tailor a lesson for that thing, like explaining evidence is gonna be one I break down just by itself. Restating, I mean, even just something that we think is so simple, they can't even restate. They'll literally just copy the question with a question mark and then answer. And it's like,
Yeah.
that's not, you have to flip it. So we did a whole lesson on just flipping a question into a statement.
And that's something that I've seeing with their
Mm-hmm.
traces as they were wanting to just rewrite the question. So,
Yeah.
like, no, break it apart, put it in your.
And
paper.
I say spin it into a statement. Take out the question word. I'm trying to think. So if it said, how did the mobile
Yeah.
camel library affect the people of Barissa? I had some that said, how the mobile camel library affected it was. I'm like, nope. Let's take the question
Take out
mark.
how. Yeah.
Right. So this one did good. The Camel Mobile Library has affected the people of Barissa. So even just silly ones. I did silly ones with my spicy chicken curry rubber chicken prompt and just said, spicy chicken curry went on a walk and found a magical unicorn. What did a spicy chicken curry find? Spicy chicken curry
Just
found just
silly.
something
Do
silly.
you think that they make a deeper connection with it than just something silly like that? And not academic?
I don't know about silly, and we won't stay there, right? We won't stay
Right.
in the silly. But for me, especially because spicy chicken curry is part of my classroom management plan, I mean, it's a whole thing. She has costumes, and because of that, I think they connect with that. But it could be anything, just at first to practice with, and then we start applying it to
Okay,
academics.
explain the spicy chicken curry thing, because I
Can I
don't.
go get her?
Yes. Okay. Miss Curry is gonna go get this costume, whatever thing, so Miss Cloud and I will continue talking.
I will say for what your last question about how to reteach. So that's what we're doing today in class.
Okay.
And so I took all of the ECRs that all the sixth graders that I have wrote, and I took off the names and everything. So there's no names attached. And I found one that was scored as a 0, and I found one that was scored as a 1 and 2, and they're looking at each one and they're finding the parts and highlighting the parts that traces in it. And then they have to figure out what is it missing? Why did this one score a 0? So they're connecting, and then they're gonna go back to their own I'm gonna give them theirs. And they're gonna do the same thing with their goods.
That's
Yeah.
really good. Are they looking at them in terms of like scoring them too? Like if
Yes. We're
they're
scoring them. Yeah. Yes.
Are they scoring their own individually or
Well, we're doing some of their together, but then I'm giving them theirs back
to score as well?
to score as well. And so they can see, why did I get that? What am I
Are you
missing?
gonna block their score
I
out?
don't know.
Yeah.
Probably not. I'll probably let them see it, but they're gonna have to mark the parts and why did I get it?
Well, and I think sometimes students, we think, oh, they're gonna give themselves more points, but I have found they're pretty self-critical.
Yeah.
Of their own work. Mhm. So sometimes they're like, yeah, I did deserve that 3 or 2 or whatever.
Yes.
Okay, tell us what you
Okay,
have.
so this was the original spicy chicken curry. She doesn't squeak anymore. Her head's coming off. Because one of the students stole her squeaker, so the class did surgery on her. So we found the squeaker to repair her. So she's the original. This is last year's with his jersey. His jersey. And then we named this one this year. This is Obi-Wan Kenobi. This is this year's. And so they compete against the chickens for free time on Fridays.
Okay,
So if they meet expectations, they're getting a point. If they're not meeting expectations, he gets the point or she gets the point, and that's who gets the free time on Friday. So we want to make sure we as the class get that free time. So, then we incorporate him or her into everything. Spicy chicken. So.
So like if you bring them out in the hall
Uh-huh.
and make them go back in again, then he gets the point.
Exactly. I mean, and it's even if you're not.
it's like elf on the shelf.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even though, like, if you're not in your seat, or I'll time them, like, okay, so y'all are down a point, we need a real quick transition. You can have your binders put away, back to your seat, 25 seconds or less, I'll give you 2 points.
Yeah.
So it's a great way for really anything, any expectation you need them to meet.
So,
And it doesn't matter, because
so if they
Spicy.
earn the free time, what is that, like 10 minutes?
It
on
is.
Friday?
It is.
Something like that.
it is, and I know some people criticize that as being a loss of learning time, but I have found if they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, I don't mind giving them that time back. And so I've told them in the past, they're like, do we get our free time this Friday? No, because you wasted. So it's only free if you've done what you're supposed to be doing, or if I had a class with that many zeros, we're not getting free time because it's not free. And there have been times where now that we can see their screens, the ones who have completed their work, I'll let them have the free time.
Yeah.
I would make those people be on IXL bingo.
Right.
Or whatever it is, and I can watch their screens to know exactly who's doing what. And sometimes that's incentive too.
Okay, for sure.
What do you mean I can't have it? Well, it's not free. You've wasted time somewhere because
Yes.
your assignments are not completed.
I love that. So when we did, so this activity, it was just a writing, just a discussion prompt. And when the kids were filling it out, they were to also comment on other students.
Yes.
And so as I'm going through, I'm seeing these kids are very, for the most part, like they know how to, what do you call it in our way when they reply to somebody else's word?
Let's respond.
Yeah, like.
Or critique.
Critique, yeah. They forgot the word there for a second. Their critiques are very good. Now, like, yeah, there were some where they're like, oh man, yours was so mid, and I went in and obviously deleted those. But for the most part, like, I feel like,
this.
yeah,
You did an excellent job on this writing. Maybe try and capitalize and
Ooh, I like
punctuate
that.
so it can stand out to the crowd. Like, what a great comment.
exactly.
So did you give them parameters on the comments? Because to me, I would say, I'm not asking you whether it's good. I'm telling you to tell them.
I gave 0 parameters because I wanted to see how
What
they
they
would
would do.
come to me and how they would
Yes.
critique their peers. So it clearly shows that, I guess, whatever y'all are doing in your class, they're applying it in others. Or if they came to y'all from 5th grade, having already been experienced with critiquing writing, I was very impressed.
Did you, the prompt, did it say, because like I see one of my students here answered the point list, did it say to write an essay? What did it tell them to do?
It didn't say that.
Okay.
It didn't say do bullet points, write X amount of sentences.
And it didn't say like, because we say
Just a general.
respond in an information. Okay, no, that's awesome. I'm looking at my kids, I'm like, yeah.
And any
Most of these-
advice that y'all have for me going forward, because we're gonna start doing writing every
I
Wednesday.
think the restating would be a huge help.
restate
I
it.
think something else is to make it clear the response from the people, because I get worried. Where I've seen it, where we have a short constructive response and an extended constructive response on our STAR test. And I've seen kids try to write an essay for both. Well, that's not necessary. So maybe just,
Do something where they can see the
well,
differences.
I have a thing where they can, but maybe in the, like I keep telling them, if it looks like this, it's going to be the ECR. Bullet points in there and it looks like this, but I don't know what y'all's prompts look like on the STAR test. And y'all's are probably all short. They probably don't have to write a whole essay, do they?
I'm thinking if they could even
On
just do the
SCRs, yes.
on theirs, that would
Maybe
be.
use the
and that's-
terminology,
on our district
create a
assessment.
short constructed response, so then that way they're seeing that SCR. Because I think had they done that, this girl right here can write, she can write well. So, but she just did a bullet point list, because I don't know that she knew to do that maybe. Because I see some of my others who did, although this young man, this is his and this is his district assessment. First of all, look at that amazing handwriting. But he usually writes even more than that. He's a good writer, so I
Very good.
feel like he could have done even more here. He just maybe didn't know.
So I'm gonna start using that terminology then.
Sure, that'd be great.
NPR. We, but on all our district assessments in science,
Which is
Which is that.
so it's the
The R.
RAC, that's okay.
I mean, it,
No, the SCR, hang on, the SCR is not, the acronym of SCR doesn't have anything to do with race.
But you're saying this is,
so they restate, they answer, and they cite.
Yes.
Okay, that's an SCR.
You just don't need the ES for the,
okay,
you don't need the explain and sum up for the SCR.
okay. Yep, that'll be better, because when we review for district assessments, I'll make sure to use that verbiage so the kids are.
Yeah. Or even just a short, okay, how do we restate that? Restate, make that question into a statement or.
Yeah, I've been impressed with their writing.
I have
And
two.
I was a bit concerned at first, just having seen some of their responses on the first district assessment, on the short answer. So I'm pleased, yes. What else do y'all notice about the writing samples, whether it's from my science class or the ones you guys have brought? Any,
They're really following the strategy. I mean, and I think that's great because, it shows me we need to work on explaining our evidence. But the fact that there is evidence and they're following the strategy. So now we just need to fluff it up, build it up.
build it
And
up?
I think that's great. And same thing on
Practice.
theirs. Yeah, I can see that they're doing the same parts. I think it's great that we're all doing the same thing.
There was one we talked about earlier, class, that was like a 1. But we could find each part of traces that they have done. So it's they're trying, like they're
Right,
using
yes,
that.
yeah, they all have.
It just wasn't quite
It's just-
there.
Yeah, I agree. And
So-
they chose to hide it themselves.
It's just practice.
Making it a thing now, but yeah, I mean, all the pieces are there.
What
So
explain the highlighting strategy. What is-
okay, so I suggested it. Actually, I did it on mine. So I didn't teach them to do this. I did it on my model just so that they could visually see where each part of my essay was. And then they liked it so well, they wanted to highlight. I said, okay, great, let's highlight. Got all the highlighters out, let's do it. So this one even made a key for themselves, cite, explain, summary.
And I'm looking at hers over here.
But
She's amazing.
I mostly just wanted them to be able to see the different parts.
Yeah.
And so we separated the restate and answer out two different colors, even though a lot of times it's the same sentence. But I wanted them to show where they had done that. So this is their test. I didn't tell them to do this at all. They chose
They
this.
did
But
this one.
now that they enjoyed it and they're doing it, I think I am gonna make it
I
a
like
thing.
it. That's what we're doing today.
Well,
We're doing the colors.
and in
to-
Canva, they can highlight with any color in that
Yeah.
color palette, which is better because in PowerPoint you're limited to like 6 colors. So it's like red, black,
Yellow.
yeah, yellow. I mean, so yeah, I'm gonna have them do that, copy and paste it into Canva and highlight. We have them do that.
And that student, she put it on here, she did her own signature at the bottom to
Oh,
confirm.
I love her.
She's amazing. Okay, so in science, we've done handwritten writing, we've done digital. What are your thoughts on each? Which one's more beneficial? Just explain
Yeah.
for students, what do you think is more beneficial?
Both. I mean, I think both. I think typing skills are necessary. But I mean, there's a reason we have them write it first before they type it.
Yeah, that's what we're teaching them to do, is to write it out, even on the STAR test, write it out before you go in and type it.
Okay.
Um,
So when students are taking the reading star in April, in each of our rooms, we should see them
they should have scratch paper out.
writing. And then
I'm gonna
They
start,
don't have to,
have to, but that's,
but they've been taught to do
they've
that.
been taught.
I'm going to start eventually. I know that kids who have the accommodation will get this. I don't think it'll have the acronym.
No, we just,
But I think I'm gonna start having my other kids start creating this on notebook paper or
Yeah.
white paper.
Yeah.
Instead of giving them this.
Right.
Having them start drawing those boxes every time we write an ECR, so that when STAR comes, it's just habit. They get the paper, they make the boxes, here we go.
What do you mean the boxes?
These,
Like
I'm gonna have them draw these.
Got it.
When I'm not huge on the T, but
at least the.
at least the
RACES.
RACES. Maybe a box, one box, make this two.
CE together.
Mhm. Well, I'm thinking they might forget to do two different things. I don't know, I haven't worked that out yet.
So the students, when they were filling out this traces, which it was just explain a type of energy transfer, they kept coming to me and they were like, or do you want us to combine the R and the A? That's something that they do in y'all's classes? Because they were questioning me in terms of, wait, I have to write something
Well,
completely.
we may do it differently.
Yeah.
So in an ECR, because in STAR, it's not written as a question.
Okay,
It's written as explain how, or whatever. So then I have them actually just put that into a statement, one statement, and then answer it. They're separate. But in an SCR, it's usually a question like, how does chicken curry
Yeah,
affect
what
Miss
is she
Curry's
find?
class?
Yeah.
It's a question, and it's easy to turn that into a restate and answer together.
okay.
So,
And I have them combined, but I also tell them it's an author's craft move.
Yeah, I was gonna say-
I mean, it just, if you can, some kids are advanced and they.
and they can make
and
it
they
one
can make
sentence. I don't
mean,
count off.
It's kind of in writing, it's such an art,
Yeah.
I kind of give them some freedom too. If you're not comfortable doing it, then you do it my way and here's my.
I agree.
If you have this master, if you know what to do, if you feel confident,
Sense and it's written right.
go on your own,
Go for it.
then you do that.
It sounds like, because I've never taught reading, that's a beast that I don't know that I would be able to manage. But it's very, there's not a lot of black and white
No,
with teaching reading
Correct.
and
and it all
And the order of
plays in
standards, yeah.
together.
It's the big,
that's so, because in all the other content
Right.
areas, it's black and white.
and that can get frustrating for us when someone who doesn't have that same type of brain or hasn't taught that subject, you know, is in an administrative position because I feel like sometimes they try to quantify or, you know, make it linear and it's just not. I mean, it's a big ambiguous ball. I mean, it's really an art. If there's not,
And I've not heard a reading teacher state it that way, and it makes sense. It is an art. That's awesome though.
Yeah.
Okay, how grading, writing, what does that look like in y'all's classes? Just grading, writing, rubric scale?
AI's
Yeah.
been a game changer. The one, are you getting that one that's in this?
I'm gonna put it on the screen because you can see it.
Is it that one? So that's the one I use.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
fun.
And there's also in that bundle, I'm sending you the bundle because there's one that for SCRs too. In fact, I need to send that to you. Because when there's an SCR and an ECR, I'll run it front to back. And that's how I grade them. I use a rubric.
okay.
When I grade them.
So when they're writing
That's
on the star, does it score them? How are they scored? Like a 5?
Okay. So
Like that.
Good, so they can get up to 3 points for idea development based off of those criteria, and then conventions count. And that's been a great conversation to have with them too, because, you know, you can have just an okay idea, but if your grammar's impeccable, then you got 3. Yeah, 3 out of 5.
Yeah.
You know, so
You can't get any points
if you get
for conventions if you don't get points in it.
right, so if you get a 0 for idea development, you just earned a 0.
So in order to get these extra points, you have to get points.
And another great conversation was this girl wrote, I mean, it was huge, beautifully written essay. It was a 0 because it didn't answer the question.
It's not the length that
Right,
matters.
it's not the link,
What the
it's,
content
it's a
is.
0 because you disregarded the question and answered something totally different.
Right.
Even if it
Completely off.
relates to the, well, it
Right.
was ish on topic, but it didn't answer the question asked.
So I'm now thinking about we have a lot of economically disadvantaged students, and they're either on, a lot of them can be recognized through SPED, through 504. When they're writing on STAR and these random people are grading them, and they have an accommodation that says don't count off for spelling, how, like,
Well,
This-
it's not humans any, I mean, I think this is the
It's
first
AI.
year, it's all
it's
AI.
AI now?
Like it was, so it was
It's like half
humans.
and half.
And we call them Craigslist. And so like, that's how they find their star graders is off of Craigslist. So when you cite your evidence, I make them use direct quotes because what if Craigslist Joe, who doesn't have a college degree, is grading your essay, if he doesn't know that's a paraphrase from the thing. So I think it's probably still Craigslist, but they go supposed to be super clear. Needs to be super clear
And have it tracked.
and not if they're dummy, because we were just grading it. So I think last year it was AI and a human. And I think this year it's strictly AI unless it flags it for some
And then
out of hand, yeah.
Interesting.
That's a good question. I never thought about the spelling, how that would.
Yeah, well, I think it biases the grader too, because they're like, oh, this kid can't spell, it must not be a good essay.
Which isn't
That's not true.
That's not
Right.
true.
I mean, if I can read it, you're getting at least a
I
one.
can
If it
figure
was a
out what
good-
you're trying to say.
Yeah.
I just feel it's such a disservice to these kids that work their tails off and yeah, they struggle with
I
spelling.
don't think it's a perfect system. I think
No.
It's
there's
not.
messes
There
up
will be.
everywhere. There's mistakes.
Well, it'll be interesting going forward. Stellar apparently not being
Well, I know.
a thing.
I know.
It is, and then I think on the one hand, we ChatGPT's bad, everything's bad, AI's bad, and then that's who's grading their essay, I mean,
Well, and I feel like too, what Star has done is put writing in a box.
and we just talked
Because
about,
we are
it's an
teaching
art.
this. That's it. Writing. There's no creative writing. There's no like
Right.
the art of writing. Like there's none of that. It's you got to pass the test,
You know,
and so that's what we teach.
So what I've started to do is in my grammar block or my English block, I'm doing a journal prompt, and it's a creative writing prompt, but we do it so I say, okay, you have to use at least 2 complex sentences, highlight all your capital letters, circle your subject, underline your predicate. And they loved it. It was Halloween was the first one we did. The prompt was, it's Halloween, you're trick or treating, your bag starts moving around, you open it up and your candies come alive. What happens next? And they were like, can we do this every day?
Yeah, they like
Can you
it.
give us another prompt? And they just want to get that imagination, that creativity out.
We
And
did
it
that
was-
with the spooky stories. So I put them in groups of 5,
Yeah.
and they had to sit down. They had to write the exposition of the story. So that's just where they introduced the character and the setting. That's all they would write about to start their story, and then they had to pass their paper to the next person, and that person had to add the rising action, like what problem comes in, and then they passed it again, and so they're adding on to each other's stories, and they.
I bet at the ending it was amazing because they didn't know what was coming.
Right.
And it's like this
They've got to read it, and then they've got to
anticipation
pick it up, and they can change it.
Yeah.
They can do
They
whatever.
just love, they're so
They just
happy.
had
I
so
knew
much
that
fun
one.
doing
They were so happy just to be creative. And they're like, this is really fun.
I loved it. Yeah.
And
So
the
writing is
freedom to be
happy.
able to do.
Uh-huh.
I'm glad that
Yeah.
it's not just this.
Well, there is some of that. It's necessary, but it's a treat to be able to let them write.
Do something fun.
Mm-hmm.
Be creative.
There's a program we will write that we use also some, and it's kind of the same. It's
is-
fun.
Like,
So it would give, gosh,
and there's only like 2 or 3 free prompts now. I
Right.
really locked it down, but it's still good.
there's like
We
input. There's informational, and then there's like creative, creating a story, and then there's
Claim, argumentative.
argumentative different prompts. But it shows them pictures, and then they have like 4 minutes. Describe what would happen if you were in this setting or whatever, and they have to write.
But then
It's more
it's
creative.
displayed on the class, and the class gets
They
to vote.
vote on which ones they
You
would
can
do
try
that.
Curitod too. It
Yeah.
kind of does the same thing, and it has some star, like Texas RLA star specific ECR
Okay.
stuff. I'm not sure about science, but you just have to make sure they're being school appropriate because they'll write
Yeah.
skivity toilet just for
Yeah,
a
we
vote.
say no
Because the class gets to vote on
Yeah.
the most creative one.
Yeah. That's awesome.
It's just
I
kind of
love
a fun. I don't use
Yeah.
it as like a grade or anything like that.
Yeah.
But on a Friday when we've been working hard, we'll do something.
Absolutely. Um, let's see. I guess I need more support in terms of how can I ramp up writing and science more than what I've done.
Do you want fun stuff? Because I printed you a thing.
Oh, I love that.
Okay, so this is called raft writing. You might have heard of it before.
Okay. Very.
And so it's where you give students a topic and you change up the role, the audience, the format, and then this says topic, but to me that's kind of what you expect them to do. So for instance, pretend you're the plant, your audience are the leaves, you're writing them a thank you letter for all of the things that you do for me.
That's so cute.
Isn't that fun?
Yes.
So pretend you're the roots, your audience is the other plants. It's a campaign speech. Why you should be voted the most important plant part. You're like,
This is so easy
I know,
for
I know.
science.
That's why, so keep that, and that was
So
just.
good.
So you might
That's
even see, and there was one for reading, that's like, pretend like you're a noun, you're talking to the birds.
You could even change like the writing it, like
Yeah,
you're making a postcard
yeah.
or a
So that's-
pamphlet.
That's what the format is.
Oh, is that the format?
That's
Okay.
what, thank you letter.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like
That makes
thank you letter, campaign speech,
yeah, diary,
diary, memoir.
direction,
Yeah.
letter, recommendation, script. This is great.
But it's just, it's
This
fun.
will be good.
And it's content, I feel like it's
I think
rigorous.
it's application. Like, how does
Yeah.
this apply?
And
It's not just
synthesis. They're synthesizing why plants are important,
That part,
why
like-
plant. It seems cutesy and like not rigorous.
But it's not.
But it
It's
is.
Telekinetic energy, which you appreciate that because they.
Yeah, write them a thank you note. Write them a letter, write them a, pretend it's you're a Hallmark card writer. Write them a sentimental thank you note.
We're gonna start doing that
Boom.
already.
Google it, there's tons of other, you could probably even put it into ChatGPT and ask it
Yeah,
on
for
this
sure.
topic, give me a raft writing
Yeah,
suggestion.
that's amazing. I love that. Okay, biggest successes, this is question 11. What have y'all witnessed as the biggest successes in your classes regarding writing?
I think seeing that strategy come to life, because even though the content needs work, we can work with something. We can't work with nothing. So,
Yeah, and I
to
feel
me-
like this gives them some confidence. Like they're like, oh, I can do that. I don't have
that's
to
not
write
hard.
5 paragraphs. I just need to make sure I get the important details in that they're asking, you know?
Yeah.
This is not overwhelming, I guess.
And I feel like with our economically disadvantaged students,
Yes.
when they look at this, they see it as something that's achievable and
Right.
not this overwhelming beast where writing,
Right.
we should be scared of it
Yeah.
and all of that.
I had one tell me, I was like, guys, don't stare at the screen for 2 hours. It's literally 5 sentences. They're like, what? I'm like, this is 5, if that. I mean, this is 1, 2, 3, it's 4 sentences. So they're like, oh. And I had several say, well, since you said it like that,
Right.
okay, we can do that. I'm like, yeah, you can do that. Yeah, it's
Right,
4
and showing them
sentences.
this too, like telling them, you know, if you can restate and answer the question,
That's a 1.
you're getting something.
Oh, yeah.
And do it right.
Yeah.
You may get 2 points. You never know.
And
I mean,
do
it's
it-
just like you're great. Don't ever leave it blank. You know, try.
Because you could have I told him, you could have a really terrible idea and get a 3. I mean, I don't think your ideas are terrible, but if you
You can communicate
Right.
it well enough.
Exactly.
Yeah, and-
you can prove it, and you can
sell everything for
back it
money,
up. Yeah.
Yes.
you just got, over half points.
We should be nearing the end here. Can you see that time? that says?
It is, timestamp
Yeah. I'm
38:45.
Okay, we're good. 40 minutes. What additional supports do you think we need to focus on regarding our economically disadvantaged students? Like, I know that's a lofty
Sure.
question, a lofty thing to achieve, but what is it with them that how we can just help them get over that hump?
As it pertains to writing, or just in general.
All of the above.
I don't know that I have the support, but I do think some understanding and some compassion. I'm not saying lower expectations, but if they don't have a pencil, not just them, any kid, I think sometimes we choose battles. And I've had so many teachers upset that these kids don't charge their computers. And okay, I understand that. It's frustrating for me too as a teacher, but they may not have electricity, or they might have had a bad day, or I've had 6th grade students who are responsible for getting their siblings home from school, fed, watched in bed, and up again the next morning. So we don't know what some of these kids are going through, and I think choose your battles. You know, you never have a hot dog. Well, they didn't eat breakfast either. So, and that's extreme. I don't even think it has to be that extreme, but we all have bad mornings. We all have stressors in our life, and low income or not, a little understanding goes a long way. And choosing our battles. Sleeping in class, pencils, supplies, charge laptops, let it go. Sleeping, okay, maybe wake them up, but if it's consistent, I'll email
There's
home.
something going
But I
on.
have had some where I let him sleep because he didn't get to sleep up. He had the abusive brother or something that kept him up all night and let him sleep. Probably not a popular opinion, but you're good, 40-35.
All right, we have had a great meeting,
We have.
ladies. I'm thankful we had good conversations, and I can't wait to incorporate draft into Writing Wednesday, so that'll be fun. I'm excited to share how the kids are.
Yes, it's exciting.
So thank y'all, and done.
Yay.
Yay.
This was a more beneficial.
Oh my gosh,
PLC.
Amy, I was about to say the
than our
same thing.
PLC.